I am Maya, and within me lies a secret that has the power to alter the course of everything. At 24, I find myself settled in a charming apartment, perfectly positioned in the lively heart of the city, where each corner murmurs tales of yearning and passion. I find myself uncertain about how to truly convey the essence of my being. Maybe it's merely a transient instant, concealed from the eyes of the world. During the tranquil moments of the weekend, I find myself enveloped in the comforting light of classic television, contemplating whether this seemingly ordinary ritual is all that existence has to offer. My days at the graphic design firm merge into a yearning for something greater. Something that flutters just beyond my grasp. It scarcely inspires any feeling of awe. Does it? Yet, if there's one truth that lingers in the shadows of my heart, it is the intricate relationship I have with my mother, Marina Hayes, or perhaps, the emptiness that gives it shape. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, enabling me to craft more enchanting stories that resonate deeply, much like this one. Stay with us until the very end of this video, and show your support by liking it, for this tale is sure to captivate your heart in ways you never anticipated. Your support is invaluable to me. Kindly bestow a soft tap upon that like button. Marina has consistently placed her own desires above the emotions of those in her vicinity. Her beauty and vibrant spirit enchant, effortlessly capturing the attention of all in her presence the instant she enters a room. As I journeyed through my formative years, a silent longing for her presence filled my heart. At the outset, I yearned to mirror her, entranced by her allure. As time went on, that admiration morphed into a shadowy reflection, exposing the harsh reality of her self-absorption and the hollowness of her feelings for those around her. Escaping the sting of disappointment proves to be a formidable challenge, yet it remains an undeniable reality. Marina was not the kind of mother who crafted school lunches or inquired about your day. She was the one who orchestrated lavish soirees, yet somehow your moment of celebration eluded her grasp. Fading into the background, she moved seamlessly from one connection to another, as if donning a fresh gown, always seeking the next heart that might provide the affection she yearned for. In that instant, Nathan entered our realm. At the tender age of 16, I witnessed Marina step into the role of his bride. He stood as her fourth husband, a constant amidst the tumult that enveloped her, kindling a flicker of desire within her heart. Initially, he presented as a mystery, evoking emotions that eluded my comprehension. He radiated a serene assurance, his warmth cloaked in an enigmatic aura that maintained a subtle distance between them. He lingered on the fringes, silent and unpretentious, neither striving for attention nor attempting to charm those around him. He stood as a steadfast figure, unyielding and dependable, and for a young woman who had navigated the chaos of her mother's love affairs, this was a refreshing change of pace. Nathan looked at me with a sense of awe that was both unfamiliar and thrilling. He was enchanted by my fervor, encouraging me to pursue my dreams, and even stood up to Marina when she dismissed my ambitions. He entered my life as if from a dream, personifying the paternal affection I had yearned for. In that instant, I felt a gentle warmth that assured me of my true worth and affection. As time passed, my admiration for Nathan grew ever stronger. In his kindness and presence, I discovered solace, cherishing the support and encouragement he offered. His reassuring demeanor and the calmness in his gaze made me feel truly seen and valued. I persuaded myself that it held no importance. Though Nathan had married my mother, it was clear they were more companions than lovers. His support for me felt like something uniquely my own. Yet, the reality was that Marina was never destined to be his. She disregarded him, much like she had with all the cherished elements of her existence. Then arrived the treachery that fractured their existence, plunging them into chaos. Raya had been the love of my life for 3 indelible years. In the halls of our college, fate intertwined our journeys, nurturing a profound bond that ignited our aspirations for a life together. That was, at the very least, my conviction. Upon uncovering his treachery, it felt as though the very bedrock of my heart had collapsed beneath my feet. Countless hours slipped away in my room, tears cascading down my cheeks, as I found myself engulfed in a tempest of emotions, pondering the path that had led me astray. Yet, as the pain started to fade, it was replaced by an entirely different feeling. fervor, not merely at Raya, but directed at my mother, as though the burden of unexpressed longings lingered palpably in the atmosphere surrounding us. Marina had a knack for swiftly illuminating my shortcomings, drawing focus to my imperfections, and holding me up to her own benchmarks. She possessed an uncanny ability to diminish my presence, leaving me with the sense that I could never quite reach the heights of her brilliance. In the quiet confines of my small apartment, cradling a heart heavy with yearning, I realized that I could no longer permit her to wield control over my life. In the depths of my uncertainty, a longing stirred within me, pulling me toward a hidden sanctuary, a place where aspirations boldly mingled and danced together. I reached out to Marina, informing her of my impending arrival for dinner. She was filled with exhilaration, not from a genuine desire for my company, but rather from her delight in mastering the craft of the perfect hostess. Upon crossing the threshold of the house, I felt as though I had stepped into a realm unscathed by the passage of time, where each gaze concealed a secret, and every murmur bore the burden of unexpressed longings. The enchanting atmosphere, the polished surfaces, the subtle scent of lavender wafting through the air. It was a realm distinct from the limitations of my apartment. It was Nathan who ensnared my attention above all others. He greeted me with a warmth that stirred something deep within, his smile brightening his gaze in a manner that left me momentarily breathless. While Marina delved into her culinary masterpiece, enveloped in her own realm, Nathan and I remained in the living room, the atmosphere heavy with unvoiced tension and a yearning that neither of us had the courage to confront. The quiet surrounding us was profound, yet it hummed with an unspoken tension that neither of us was willing to confront. As the evening progressed, I became entranced by the fervor of Nathan's eyes fixed upon me. It was a fragile equilibrium, poised on the brink of emotions profoundly experienced, yet left unvoiced. A gentle warmth, an unspoken desire ignited a fire within my heart. What started as a mere touch of fingers, a glance laden with unspoken meaning, and laughter that resonated in the stillness evolved into something profound with every pulse of the heart. My heart throbbed for him, a sensation that filled me with both a rush of excitement and a lingering sense of discomfort. That crucial evening unfolded as Marina chose to retire early, casting Nathan and me into a realm uniquely ours. We huddled close on the couch, the soft glow from the fireplace casting a gentle ballet of shadows that enveloped us in warmth. The chamber, the specifics of our exchange escape me, probably something trivial, yet the fervor of his stare remains etched in my memory. It seemed as though he could peer into the depths of my soul, transcending the rage and the defenses I had meticulously built. His gaze ensnared me, steadfast and penetrating, awakening a vulnerability within me that had long lain dormant. In a fleeting moment of vulnerability, my hand came to rest softly upon his. He hesitated, unwilling to sever the bond that tied them together. The kiss hung in the air, tentative yet brimming with unvoiced vows, a subtle choreography of questions and answers woven together. In that fleeting instant, we grasped the depth of our connection, acknowledging the significance we held in each other's lives. The kiss lingered in my thoughts, a tender resonance that would not dissipate. A fire sparked inside me, dispelling the pain and sorrow that had shrouded my heart for an eternity. Yet, it transcended the simple act of a kiss. His gaze lingered on me afterward, imbued with a silent yearning and an undercurrent of peril. An irresistible force drew us together, a silent bond that coursed through me, igniting a thrill that danced along my spine. In that fleeting instant, I found myself caught in a whirlwind of emotions, my heart pounding as I grappled with the profound significance of what had just transpired between us. His hand rested on mine, a soothing heat that was simultaneously exhilarating and perilous. In that ephemeral instant, silence wrapped around us, laden with words left unuttered. The flickering flames threw shadows that swirled around us, heightening the unvoiced tension that lingered in the air, a reflection of the profound emotions at play. We refrained from uttering. Remorse should have washed over me. Instead, I discovered myself immersed in an exhilarating surge. I found myself drawn to his quiet presence, not out of desire, but perhaps in search of the safety I had long craved. Yet, what surrounded me was an unforeseen warmth, a profound sensation that this was exactly where I was meant to be. Nathan's hand enveloped mine in a comforting grip, his gaze brimming with unvoiced sentiments. I looked deeply into his eyes, longing for a signal, a hint of assurance that the journey we were embarking on was not a mistake. In a fleeting instant thick with unvoiced longing, he drew closer once more. This kiss bore the heavy burden of desire and hidden truths. It was daring and resolute, imbued with a passion that left me utterly speechless. His hands enveloped my face, embodying an exquisite harmony of power and gentleness. I yielded to him, allowing the fervor of the moment to engulf me. As we hesitantly parted, a tempest of feelings swirled within me. My heart quickened, compelling me to shatter the stillness, to face the undeniable moment that had just transpired between us. Yet the words seemed profoundly inadequate. Instead, I pressed my forehead to his, my eyes drifting closed as I fought to calm my breath. I opened my mouth to utter a word, but he silenced me with a soft shake of his head. His hand grazed my shoulder, sparking a warmth inside me that had remained untouched for far too long. The connection was profound, a sensation of being truly seen and valued in a way I had never realized I yearned for. The following morning, I stirred from slumber to find a maelstrom of emotions churning inside me. A fragment of my being yearned to remain in that moment, to revel in the security and comfort of Nathan's hold, as the outside world slipped into oblivion. Yet another part of me trembled with trepidation. What had I set free within my heart? What did this mean for our bond? For my heart, for his spirit, and for my mother's comprehension? That day, I withdrew from Marina, weaving excuses to retreat into the quiet embrace of my apartment. In that instant, the burden of my emotions became overwhelming, leaving me unable to meet her eyes. Not at this moment. Every time I closed my eyes, Nathan's visage emerged in my mind, the sweetness of his kiss still resonating on my lips, while my heart pulsed heavily with the weight of our newfound connection. As the evening unfolded, Nathan sent a brief message, inquiring about my well-being. The gesture was understated, yet it ignited a torrent of feelings within me, causing my heart to race. Their hearts were intricately woven together. He possessed an uncanny ability to captivate her, even as the universe conspired to keep them separated. And now that affection had unfurled into something I could no longer ignore. The ensuing days were steeped in furtive glances and fleeting, charged touches of skin. I pursued every chance to remain in the house while Marina was away. Every exchange resonated with significance, enriching our shared respect and admiration. On a captivating evening, as Marina drifted into a serene sleep, I found myself on the back porch, engrossed in conversation with Nathan. The cool air wrapped around us, mingling the scent of freshly cut grass with the subtle notes of the wine we had been enjoying. He extended his hand toward mine, his touch igniting a spark that was both exhilarating and perilous. I leaned against him, my head finding solace on his shoulder, and for a brief instant, it felt as though the whole universe had dissolved, leaving only us in our hidden sanctuary. What we experienced was an intoxicating fusion of fervor and subtlety. We moved with caution, acutely aware of the limits we were nearing. Nevertheless, in spite of our attempts to hold back, the connection between us grew stronger with every fleeting second. On a night steeped in fate, as a summer storm unleashed its fury beyond the walls, I found myself in the kitchen with Nathan, our hearts pounding in the electrified air. The lights danced momentarily, a distant rumble of thunder echoed, and for an instant, the atmosphere surrounding us pulsed with a thrilling yet perilous energy. He approached, his fingers softly brushing against mine as he reached out toward the counter. I pivoted to meet his gaze, my heart pounding as our eyes locked, an unspoken connection flowing between us. Without a moment's pause, I closed the gap that separated us, my lips finding his in a kiss that was at once fervent and tender. The rain tapped gently on the windows, creating a rhythmic symphony that underscored the profound bond that unfolded between us. His arms encircled me, pulling me close as the world outside dissolved into nothingness. In that ephemeral moment, the surroundings dissolved, revealing solely the profound depth of our bond. Marina felt the heavy burden of consequences pressing down on her, enveloped in the ambiguity of what lay ahead. No other experience bore the weight of meaning like the emotions he ignited within me, longed for, cherished, and alive. As the weeks passed, The depth of our connection intensified. We unearthed avenues to relish ephemeral instances, every encounter infused with fervor and transparency. Nathan emerged as my sanctuary, a concealed oasis amid the chaos enveloping my life. With every clandestine embrace and whispered confession, the weight of our decisions grew ever more significant. I began to notice the faint cracks in the fragile facade we had constructed side by side. While Marina remained in her serene ignorance, I felt an impending revelation lurking, ready to disrupt the fragile equilibrium we had so carefully upheld. Even as the threats grew more formidable, my heart remained steadfast, unwilling to look away. Nathan embodied a hidden desire, a bond that soared beyond the mundane. He was my hidden sanctuary. He filled a chasm in my heart that I had never realized was there. Stirring feelings I believed were lost to time. The days that ensued after that kiss, amidst the storm, were imbued with a heady blend of longing and ephemeral moments. Each encounter with Nathan became more charged, brimming with an unspoken desire. In the quiet embrace of the night, I lay awake, revisiting every gentle touch, every whispered word, pondering how we had come to this point in time. It surpassed the boundaries of the tangible world. Nathan peered into the very essence of my being, understanding the intricacies of my heart in a way that no one else ever had. He leaned closer, entranced by my narrative as I unveiled my aspirations, my anxieties, and the sorrow of existing in Marina's shadow. He regarded me not merely as Marina's daughter, nor as a soul fragmented by bygone grief, but as the authentic embodiment of my being. The allure of that connection was simply mesmerizing. It stirred a profound yearning within me, an intensity of longing and desire that was entirely foreign until this moment. Nevertheless, it was just as thrilling. Every instant in your company crackled with the excitement of our hidden truth. The silent perils waiting just out of sight. Navigating the delicate balance between our emotions and the dictates of rightness proved to be a formidable challenge. As the sun sank beneath the horizon, enveloping the garden in a gentle radiance, I found myself in the company of Nathan, our hearts quickening in the serene embrace of dusk. Marina had quietly departed to join her friends, leaving the house enveloped in an eerie stillness, as though the very walls were pausing, waiting with bated breath. Nathan was lovingly cultivating the roses that Marina cherished, yet never found the moments to care for. From the patio, I watched him, entranced by the fluidity of his hands, the soft light of dusk casting a gentle glow on the features of his face. Drawn by an invisible pull, I approached him, my heart racing with an inexplicable fervor. As I approached, our eyes locked in a silent exchange. His expression held an enigma, yet a glimmer in his eyes ignited a thrill within me, rendering me breathless. As I reached out, our fingers grazed each other, and it felt as though time itself had come to a standstill around us. We set the shears down, his gaze fixed on me with a fervor that sent my heart into a wild flutter. For a fleeting moment, we remained still, the silence enveloping us crackling with a tension that was as thrilling as it was painful. He extended his hand towards me, his fingers gently settling on my waist as he pulled me closer. There was a moment, a closeness between us that hovered on the edge of something unspoken, something we dared not define. The surroundings faded into obscurity, as the scent of blossoming roses mingled with the warmth of his touch. In that instant, it felt as though the world around us had dissolved, leaving just the two of us enveloped in our own hidden realm. The unspoken tension between us lingered, never truly confronted in a way that mattered. There existed neither titles nor expectations, nor any vows to bind them, yet an unvoiced connection lingered between us, a silent agreement that whatever this relationship was, it was ours alone. I began to treasure our shared moments, those times when we could let down our guards and simply be. Each encounter, whether a fleeting brush of hands as our paths crossed or a secret kiss in the stillness of the night, pulsed with life and electricity, as if we were daring to defy every unspoken boundary. As our bond deepened, the dangers that loomed around us intensified. I started to notice the delicate intricacies, Claire's lingering glances, her offhand comments regarding the times Nathan and I spent together. She continued in her serene oblivion, but a whisper of uncertainty danced in my mind, suggesting she could somehow perceive the silent strain that lay between us. One afternoon, As I delved into my sketches, enveloped in a realm of creativity, Claire stepped into the room, her presence sparking an unvoiced tension that permeated the atmosphere. Her gaze held me captive, an irresistible force that sent a thrill coursing through my veins. "You've been coming around more frequently lately," she said with a casual tone, yet a subtle tension threaded through her words. I turned my gaze away, my focus entirely absorbed by the pages of my sketchbook. Stepping beyond the confines of my apartment was an exhilarating experience. I noted a trace of longing lacing my words. Her silence conveyed a depth of meaning, and the weight of her gaze remained etched in my thoughts long after she had departed. The concealed reality we harbored was destined to emerge into the open eventually. Claire found herself ensconced in her own realm, yet the murmurs of destiny wove through her consciousness, impossible to dismiss. One evening, just as I was preparing to step outside, Nathan stood by the door, his presence kindling a palpable tension in the air between us. Claire climbed the stairs, steeling herself for the evening's gathering. As the house wrapped itself in a tranquil hush, interrupted solely by the soft murmur of the air conditioner, Nathan leaned in, his fingers brushing against my hand, igniting a spark that surged through me like a current. "Drive safely," he murmured, his voice tinged with a deep, unexpressed yearning. I nodded, my heart pounding as I ventured outside. But as I turned to shut the door behind me, I caught sight of Claire poised at the top of the stairs. Her gaze was an alluring enigma that awakened something profound inside me. The ensuing days were thick with an unmistakable tension, a silent yearning that hung in the air. Claire's eyes held mine, a palpable tension enveloping us, as if she challenged me to waver, to unveil the truths we both understood were best kept hidden. Nathan and I moved with caution, yet the bond between us was unmistakable. Then, on a night destined to be etched in memory, the very fabric of our world unraveled. "Do you truly think I'm unaware of the tension that lingers between us?" Claire's voice carried a subtle tension as she beckoned me into the living room, the atmosphere heavy with unvoiced feelings. Her eyes sparkled with a fervor that set ablaze a yearning deep inside me, a potent intensity that was as enchanting as it was perilous. Her silence conveyed a depth of meaning, and I could feel that she had uncovered the truth. "Do you think I can't see?" she hissed, her words dripping with a sharp intensity. I opened my mouth, a tentative sigh slipping out as unvoiced thoughts hung in the space that separated us. In the face of a response, an all-consuming silence wrapped around me. Which words could ever encapsulate this emotion? I never foresaw this twist of fate, that I had given my heart to the very person Claire had dismissed. Nathan entered the room, his presence a calming influence amidst the chaos, kindling an unvoiced connection between them. He stayed quiet, but the power of his stare, brimming with unvoiced determination, was sufficient to steady my heart.